3 months in monster trucks is normally a grind and a blur, but in uncertain times, it's been a waiting game. Back after an unwanted shutdown, these massive metal machines take center stage for one of the favorite events of the year. Welcome to the northwestern corner of the Northeast Lake Erie Speedway in the little town of Northeast Pennsylvania. To be exact, first one back since the shutdowns. It feels awesome to be out on the track, ready for 6 big bad monsters to go into action here at this legendary facility. They're in the back, getting good, nice, and tight. We're about to head into best trick competition to start things off, but before we got into action, we got a little extra. Wasn't on the schedule, but Retoo Motorsports brought the mini monsters out. Logan Lockhart, first week behind the wheel of one of these machines. He's gotten more and more aggressive with each pass. Can't wait to see big things from that kid in the near future. Then, the oldest of the brothers Retoo, CJ Retoo, in the Stinger Unleashed Mini. This guy shows no fear behind the wheel of this Patriot chassis machine. This one with the extended cradle, a little bit different attitude to it as he takes it around the track. And then Garrett Retoo in the Barely Tame Mini, getting the crowd pumped up. Little bit crazy right there as he almost put it on its side. Nice sky wheelie there out of Garrett Retoo in the Barely Tame Mini out of Camden, Delaware. Now, told you CJ wasn't afraid to drive the wheels off of it. Big sky wheelie up over the tabletop in the race lane. See the concentration on his face in a very proud moment.
That's a proud bad moment, man.
For Zane Retoo,
That's actually getting shredded in.
patriarch of Retoo Motorsports, as he got CJ tightened back up for another hit. You thought that first one was wild? Watch him here. All the way over, down on the tarmac, CJ Retoo cutting it loose in the Stinger Unleashed Mini. Another look at it right here. Watch it. Walk it perfectly across the top of the popper ramp here on the front stretch of the Lake Erie Speedway. A bit of a hard hit, but I don't think it hurt him any as he gets ready to wrap things up. We'll be bringing the big trucks out in just a second, but CJ Retoo putting it up on 2 wheels on the high side. Getting the applause from his dad. What a way to start things off here at Lake Erie Speedway. Best trick is coming up next with the big trucks. Stay with us. It is gonna get wild.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date show, ticket info, and a wide selection of photo and video galleries, visit monstersmonthly.com. And by Crush This. For an inside look at the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, available on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army, featuring action-packed content from around the web. Visit rpmarmy.com, your source for motorsports on the go.
Back at the Lake Erie Speedway in the little town of Northeast Pennsylvania, about to get underway with the All-Star Monster Truck Tour. Keep in mind, these teams have been off for 3 months, the better part of 3 months. A lot of aggression to take out on these obstacles here on the infield. First up out of Lyons, Oregon, Dawson Reyes and Kamikaze, brand new Cohen chassis for Team Throttle Monster out of Utah. Carrying the sponsorship for the Cobblestone Hotel and Suites this weekend. Good first hit. Let's see what his second is. Going for the big air. Headed toward the pits out in turn number 2. Solid pair of moves there to open things up in this best trick competition. We'll see what kind of score that nets as we look at that big hit, that second hit he made. Shots look like they soaked that one up nicely. Put a 4 on the board. That'll probably put him about mid-pack when all is said and done, but does get some nice points there. Now, Triton Robbins out of Lawton, New York, and Crazy Train. Big first hit for the locomotive out of the Empire State. Keep in mind, he was brought in as a fill-in when one of the trucks failed to show. So at the last minute, they had to get this thing tightened up and ready for action, and he is showing no fear right now. Running with maybe some different names, some bigger obstacles. And another big sky wheelie, carrying it down the face of the ramp. A little pop, or a little slap wheelie, excuse me. Not bad at all for Triton Robbins out of Lawton, New York. Big air on that first hit. Truck looks like it's working very, very well so far. Digging out the face of that ramp, he'll put a 6 on the board to take over the lead. Up next, better half of the Ratu Motorsports camp out of Camden, Delaware, Lindsay Ratu and Pretty Wicked with the Sky Wheelie. Keep in mind, this is the swan song for that dent side body, so they got nothing to lose as far as trashing fiberglass here this weekend. Might get a little bit more wild with it. Cyclones here on the front stretch. Should net her a pretty good score here in the best trick competition. That first hit there, the big air, bit of a sky wheelie on that one, and score of 5. Put her right between Reyes and Robbins. We continue on into action. Corey Snyder in Toxic out of Bethesda, Maryland. Looked like he was going for a stoppie there, kind of overshot the landing. Into a popper off to the side. Almost got himself in trouble right there. A little bit frustrated, I think. He heads around to turn number 4. See if that was it or if he's got anything left. Straight up and down. There go the bed sides and the tailgate. Smoke in the tires, bringing it to an end right here in front of the grandstands. Corey Snyder in Toxic. Good accounting of himself. Little body damage there. They'll straighten that back out. He and his father Jay fielding this machine out of Maryland, and you can see when he went for the popper off to the side of the ramp and just had to get back into it, stood and started to go sideways on him, and then this. I know he knew it would get him some air. I don't think he thought it would float completely vertical, landing on the right rear, buried the wheelie bar in the ramp for a score of 8. Now, Zane Ratu out of Camden, Delaware, and Stinger Unleashed. I think I know what he's about to do. Going for the stoppie. Carrying it perfectly right there. Zane Ratu and Stinger Unleashed. inside tire about 1.5 to 2 feet off the ground. That might take over the lead right there. Awesome pair of moves for Zane Ratu and Stinger Unleashed.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Zane Ratu. It's Stinger Unleashed.
I'll say he took over the lead, getting a big applause from the crowd. Here at the Lake Erie Speedway, Stinger Unleashed. He gets it just past that point of no return. You see it straight up and down right here. You'll watch. No, he'll let the truck lean over past vertical. Use that momentum to kind of drag it forward. A score of 9. He definitely takes over the lead by 1 point. Takes the lead from Corey Snyder. Zane Ratu up in the ante a little bit for this guy, David Olford, out of Staten, Oregon. Another member of Team Throttle Monster out of Utah in the Wrecking Machine, another brand new Cohen chassis. And he goes for the stompy and then the moonwalk. I'm going to get another look at this on replay. Watch him slide forward. Now, what does Olford have left? That was impressive, but he needs to do something big to knock Zane Ratu out of the top spot. Remember, each competition you're accumulating points toward an overall. Went for the wheelie, did not quite get it, and I don't think he's going to take over the lead. It was impressive, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So we get another look at the run right here. Watch him slide on the front wheels. Catches it. Goes for the moonwalk for a score of 7. So I'll put him in 3rd place. Solid run for David Olford, but your winner is Zane Ratu.
Tell me that did not feel good.
You know, I was actually a little worried. I forgot how to do those stoppies, being on my butt for the last 3 months. We went out to Monster Jam University a couple years ago, learned a few new tricks. And you know what? Run with the trucks we run with every weekend. You got to step up your game, do new cool stuff. But you know what? I don't care about this stuff anymore. I did a lot of reflecting over the last 3 months being home. And you know what? The biggest thing that I missed, it wasn't even the money that we made, the miles we traveled up and down the road. I was having fan withdrawal, guys. There is nothing better than growing up since the age of 2, loving these monster trucks, and coming out here and wheeling my truck and watching you guys have the enthusiasm that I used to have. Win, lose, or draw, I don't even care about this. Racing, I'm going to do it because the guy up in the booth says I got to do it. My truck doesn't turn very well. I'm going to do the best I can. Mark my words, guys. When freestyle comes up, I am not going to leave anything on the track. I have 3 months of anger and frustration built up in me. You guys came for the right show. You guys are going to get what you came for.
Your best trick winner, Zane Ratu, it's Stinger Unleashed.
Well, he stated it right there. 3 months off, a lot of aggression to take out here tonight. Hey, we're going to start going quick and fast. Racing is next. Stay with us. Crowd warmed up here at Lake Erie Speedway. Zane Ratu and Stinger taking the points out of the best trick competition. We'll see if he can carry that momentum into racing. Admittedly, racing not his strong suit, but he is always spectacular. We've seen him get a couple racing wins over the years, though, so don't count him out. Here's round number 1's Bracket, Kamikaze, and Crazy Train to start things off. It'll be Stinger Unleashed taking on Corey Snyder and Toxic. Should be a pretty good matchup. And then Wrecking Machine, David Tuto Olford taking on Lindsay Ratu in Pretty Wicked out of Camden, Delaware. And you see we'll pull one fast loser to come back to make a field of 4 for the semifinal round. Now, your first pair on the line Ford Raptor body, Kamikaze, out of the state of Utah, being driven by the man from Oregon, taking on the Empire Flyer, Triton Robbins, in Crazy Train. Some pretty steep ramps here. The first jump, this is a crazy 8-track, you'll see. Back to the outside, now for the inside corner. Still a little moisture on the track. Dawson Reyes drops down. Very, very close and a big leap over the finish line for Reyes. Now, who won that? They were right there together on the finish line. The Kamikaze coming away with the victory. But it was a very, very close finish. Watch him again, you'll see. Crazy Train, conservative, but actually made the better turn. A little bit of slip, had to check up right there. Reyes got back in the throttle, went wide, and man, did he power in that final jump. Big leap right there, hard hit. But again, truck set up very well tonight. He will move on to the semifinal round. Sitting on the bump spot will be Triton Robbins and Crazy Train for the moment as a pair of Fords with Richard Midget horsepower roll up to the line. Near lane, the bright green and black machine out of the state of Maryland. Corey Snyder and Toxic taking on Zane Ritu. Stinger Unleashed, your winner and best trick. See if Snyder can get those tires to hook up here with the moisture on the track. A little slip right there, not a bad turn. Stinger's right with him. He has a lead. I told you not to count him out. Both of them with problems in the turn. They're almost together. But Snyder will recover first and take the victory. Not a bad run for Zane Ritu and Stinger Unleashed, but he will be done as far as racing goes. We'll go back and get that truck ready for Freestyle. Corey Snyder heads back to the pits to get ready for the semi-final round. And Toxic, and you can see he's missing the bedside there. He got into the dirt and gravel that's sitting on top of moist asphalt, so there's nothing to grip for those China tires. BKT's in the other lane. Ritu was smoking him right there. Not a bad run, again, for Stinger. Both those guys struggled quite a bit in that final corner, but Snyder was just able to recover first. But again, I told you not to count out Zane Ritu. He gave him a run. Just wasn't quite enough on this night in Northeast Pennsylvania. Pretty wicked on the line now. Dead side Bronco out of Camden, Delaware. That is Lindsay Ritu taking on David Too Tall over in the Wrecking Machine. Very aggressive off the line for Olver. Let's see if Lindsay can hang in there with him. And she just went the wrong way around the turn obstacle, and I believe that will be an automatic disqualification. David Alford. Unless there's a catastrophe, we'll move on to the semi-final round. Lindsay Ritu still hanging in there and running. Never give up all the way. Making her way across the finish line. Olvert will head back to the pits. He'll take on our fast loser, which will be Triton Robbins in Crazy Train. So as these guys get just a second to cool down, Kamikaze will take on Toxic. Pair of Fords there in the first matchup. And Wrecking Machine against Crazy Train. Or it's supposed to be anyway. You hear truck fired in the background and going. Unfortunately, Olfert will not make the starting line. Problems for the Wrecking Machine. Crazy Train, in spite of losing in round one, will move on to the finals with a bye run. So, Triton Robbins with a technical victory out of the semifinals will head on into the championship round against the winner of this matchup, the other half of Team Throttle Monster for the evening. That is Dawson Reyes and Kamikaze. He will take on Corey Snyder in Toxic, who is now in a different lane than he won out of in round number 1. Reyes staying in the lane that netted him a round 1 victory over the guy you just saw. Could there be a rematch in the championship race? Notice Reyes took off to the left before he even hit the ramp, trying to make sure he was set up for that corner. Snyder got through there quicker. I think he got into that dust. Snyder way out front of him right now. And Corey Snyder, for all intents and purposes, will upset Dawson Reyes. It will be Snyder and Robbins in the championship race. Here's how they got there. Kamikaze knocking off Crazy Train. Came back as the fast loser. Crazy Train was supposed to take on Wrecking Machine, but when Wrecking Machine failed to make the starting line, Triton Robbins and Crazy Train with the bye. Toxic knocked out Stinger, Unleashed, and then Kamikaze, who knocked out the guy that Corey Snyder will now race in the finals. There you see the activity around the Wrecking Machine. Alejandro Trevino helping those guys out this weekend, and there you see Too Tall with the wrench making his way back to the trailer, I believe, to get some parts. Toxic and Crazy Train off the line. Championship race already underway. Smoking the tires. It sounded like he had his foot flat to the floor. Together in the final turn. Who's it going to be? Another very, very close side-by-side finish for Triton Robbins. Did Snyder knock out the Crazy Train? Or did the fill-in driver just pick up the championship? I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but Matt Isbell just called the winner. Crazy Train, Triton Robbins. Wasn't even supposed to be here tonight, but just edges out Corey Snyder for the victory. Crazy Train, race winner here at Lake Erie.
Chat to the guy here. He's got the hell off down here. Make some noise for your winner. And congratulations. Gotta feel pretty good coming out here, stack lineup for these fans and take the win.
Yes, thank you. It was very awesome. I got some real tough competitors back there. We got called last minute, and figured we guys put on a good show for everyone tonight.
Coming up next in a little bit, Monster Truck Freestyle. Going to burn down for these fans in a few minutes.
Yes, plan on going over the bus a couple times and tearing it up for all of you guys.
Big congratulations to Triton Robbins. He may be soft-spoken, but he has got a heavy right foot. You see the victory he takes over Corey Snyder. We are not done yet, though. Freestyle is next. Stay with us. It is gonna get wild. It is good to be back after the shutdown with the All-Star Monster Truck Tour here from Lake Erie Speedway in the northwestern corner of the Northeast. Here are the current event points after Best Trick and Racing. You see Crazy Train 1 point in the lead over Toxic and Corey Snyder. Then it's Stinger, Unleashed, and Wrecking Machine tied for 3rd and 4th. And Kamikaze and Pretty Wicked 1 point apart there at the bottom, rounding out our field here tonight in Lake Erie. Dawson Reyes and Kamikaze get things started off in freestyle. See what he can do to set the stage and make it hard for these guys to jump over him as they come out for their run. Not wasting any time. Big hit up and over the bus. This truck looks good, it sounds good, it's real tight. And again, I've mentioned it a couple times. This and the wrecking machine, the suspension, the shocks look like they are just soaking these landings up perfectly. A little sideways right there. Big hit out toward turn number 4. Not doing too bad, carrying some nice momentum. It's Kamikaze. Dawson Reyes makes his way back toward the front stretch. Been a solid run. He needs maybe a wow factor to put him over the top, but he's definitely not disappointing as he opens things up. Here in Freestyle at Lake Erie Speedway, carrying the hotel sponsor for the event here this weekend, the Cobblestone Hotel and Suites. Another big hit up and over the bus there. No wasted moves in this run. I will say that. He might be searching a little bit, but definitely not a bad run. Head back the other way over the bus. For that tire smoking donut over here in turn number 4, and he'll bring it around back to the front stretch and I believe wrap it up right there. Solid opening run for Dawson Reyes out of Lyons, Oregon, driving for the team out of Utah. Nothing to be ashamed of in that run. Hit the bus twice, by the way. Excuse me, hit the bus 3 times because he hit it going back the other way. Used just about everything on the track and then wrapped it up, smoking the tires over here in turn number 4. Be a 6, an 8, and a 4 for a score of 19. Not bad to start things off here in Freestyle as Zane Ratu heads out now in Stinger Unleashed. Unfortunately, we lost 2 trucks to electrical problems. His wife, Lindsay Ratu, will not make the call. She's having problems with her truck. And Crazy Train, after the racing victory, will not freestyle. Both of those trucks struggling with electrical issues. And now, Stinger Unleashed jump to the 4th truck in the field as he starts us off with the stoppie. Into the moonwalk and right back up the ramp. Nice, warmed him up with that. Get ready for a hit-for-hit marathon freestyle from this guy. He will not stop until that truck stops running. Straight up and down right there for Zane Ratu. Smoking the tires over in turn number 1. Very, very smooth transition over the bus. You wouldn't even know it was buried in those hills there. Big hang time coming back the other way. Man, he is getting some huge air on this run, even off of the small obstacles. In fact, some of those smaller obstacles can get you bigger air than the big bus on this side, but he will go for that again. Or not, kind of creeping over it right there. Though I think he's setting up his next move, going for the reverser. Nicely done for Zane Ratu out of Camden, Delaware, and he heads right back for the ski slope. Big hit up and over the bus. What does he have left? down in turn number 1 with the Cyclone. Slap wheelie into the racing lane. Told you he was going to lay down a marathon. Back up and over the bus. What does Zane Ratu have left? Straight up and down past vertical, and he is over. Zane Ratu and Stinger Unleashed lays it on its top on the back of the racing lane. See the track crew down there. Zane moving around inside. He's all right. I don't think it was a real hard hit, but the roll cage doing its job. Coming out to the roar of the crowd. Zane Ratu out of Camden, Delaware, and Stinger Unleashed. He had some awesome hang time in this run. Big hit up and over the bus and then wrapping it up just for good measure. Putting another scar in that body. They're about to get a new body on this truck as well, so none of that matters. An 8, a 7, and a 9 for a 24. He takes over the lead. It's probably a good thing he went that hard.
Now that was fun.
As he wraps it up solid there because he's going to have to try to hang on to the lead. Well, this guy comes out, Corey Snyder. Already did some damage to that body. In the best trick competition, he'll open things up, heading right for the bus. Big hit off of the back of that popper ramp. Tell you what, the track crew did a great job making multi-use obstacles here. You can pretty much hit anything however you want. And you're going to get something out of it. He's showing that right now. The track usage so far has been great, by the way. See what Corey Snyder has. The two guys in front of him as more body panels start to fall off. The tailgate finally letting go. Gonna leave that right there by the pits. That's a perfect place for it. They can run right out and pick that up. You won't even drive over it. The momentum on this run is great. May need to pick up the wow factor just a little bit, but the track usage and the momentum again, just awesome on this run. Corey Snyder trying to lay it down here in Toxic. He said he was going to get a slap wheelie when we talked to him earlier, and he got one there as he powered into turn number 1 and heads back down onto the infield. He went for another slap wheelie there. Didn't quite work for him. Having a little bit of trouble getting these tires to hook up on this dusty asphalt, but he's doing a nice job with the truck. Patrick Chassie working great for Corey Snyder out of Bethesda, Maryland. See the brake rotors glowing underneath. Tripped him up right there a little bit, doesn't let out of it. See what Corey has left for the crowd here in Northeast Pennsylvania. Smoking the tires, a little bit of smoke out of the back of the truck as well. The LEDs glowing underneath. Awesome run for Corey Snyder in Toxic out of Bethesda, Maryland. Was it enough to take over the lead after that wild run from Zane Ratu in Stinger Unleashed. Another look at a couple moves here for Corey Snyder as he just flew over the bus. That was his first hit in this run. I don't know if he did enough to get the lead though. Had some nice hang time, had a lot of ground speed. And then of course this slap wheelie heading off into turn number 1. A 6, an 8, and a 7 for a 21 will not take over the lead. But an awesome job on that one. I'm Zane Ratu for overall points as David Olfer launches Wrecking Machine to open up his freestyle run. Too Tall on the track. Representing Team Throttle Monster here this weekend in the Cohen Chassis Wrecking Machine. Big air right there. This guy has a very heavy right foot. Flatland out there in turn number 1. Nice hit off of that popper ramp. Not wasting any time. Just took out the left side of the bus. Got a little off kilter going into that ramp. Did not back out of that move at all. And now smoking the tires. Bit of road dust down there in that corner. That might have been what was hurting some of these guys in racing. Doesn't matter here though. Another big hit out there, turn number 1. These guys like drifting around this tarmac here. It's wide open. You can land to the throttle and drift that thing for a mile if you want to. Straight up and down there off of that wheelie jump. And it looks like Alford's going to wrap it up right there. A good run, very solid. But again, I don't know if it's enough to take over the lead. Too Tall coming out to the roar of the crowd. Solid run. From all 4 of our competitors left in freestyle. Again, the big hit out toward the signage. David Olford getting plenty of hang time in that run. This was an awesome move right here. Those offset cars serving their purpose. 7, a 7, a 9, a 23. So he'll jump into second in freestyle. But as you can see, the final standing shows Stinger, Unleashed, and Toxic tied for first place in points. The tiebreaker is the freestyle score, and that means that after 3 events, Zane Ratu in Stinger Unleashed will take the overall victory tonight here at Lake Erie. Toxic in second, Wrecking Machine, Kamikaze in third and fourth, and Crazy Train and Pretty Wicked rounding out the field. What an awesome night here at Lake Erie Speedway. Zane Ratu gives one last word to the crowd before we wrap things up here. Everybody check out the damage that Too Tall did to the bus. Hey, we still have one more to go. Left something there for these guys to hit. A little damage on the trucks getting worked out. That'll wrap it up for this edition from Lake Erie. We will see you next time.
Oh yeah. Well, we got 1 hole. This would be ideal here. How's it looking now? We got 1. Yeah. Now that was fun, Nick.